We literally don't know very much about the ocean. We only have mapped something like 20% of it. We've only seen something like 1 or 2% of it. There could be things hiding out here that we've never seen before.
The ocean is vast, deep, and full of mysteries. Scientists say we've explored less than 10% of it, leaving plenty of room for creatures beyond our imagination. Every now and then, strange things appear, leaving people wondering what else could be lurking in the dark depths. Join us as we look at 20 times when divers caught some seriously terrifying sea creatures on film. Number 20. Alaska's strange ice monster. In the untamed wilderness of Alaska, a strange mystery unfolded along the China River, not far from Fairbanks. In the calm waters, something caught the attention of a Bureau of Land Management officer who happened to have their camera ready. Through the lens, the officer captured footage of what looked like a long, serpentine form gliding through the water. The creature moved with such grace that some locals gossiped about dragons, though we all know those belong in storybooks. The video was compelling enough to make its way onto the evening news, sparking curiosity across the region. The China River, known for its rich ecosystem and diverse wildlife, has long been a habitat for various fish species, including the prehistoric-looking sturgeon. These ancient fish can grow up to 20 feet long and have existed for over 200 million years, making them living fossils. When experts examined the footage, they noticed how the creature seemed to be dragging something along, possibly a tree branch caught in its path. The most likely explanation, according to wildlife biologists, was that a sturgeon had gotten tangled in some river debris. Sturgeons are bottom feeders who use their whisker-like barbels to sense food in murky waters. Their peculiar appearance and size often lead to misconceptions when they're spotted near the surface. Alaska's cold waters have their mystery, but halfway across the world, divers in Taiwan stumbled on something just as puzzling. Number 19. Taiwan diving discovery. Off the coast of Taiwan, where the warm Pacific waters meet the coral reefs, a group of divers reported a strange encounter that quickly went viral across social media. They claimed to have spotted and photographed what they described as the biggest creature in the ocean during their underwater adventure. The waters around Taiwan are home to an amazing variety of marine life, from colorful tropical fish to gentle whale sharks that regularly pass through these seas. The area where the divers were exploring is along the edge of the Philippine Sea, known for its deep trenches and rich marine biodiversity. However, when the photo surfaced online, sharp-eyed viewers noticed several odd details that didn't quite add up. The lighting in the image seemed artificial, the proportions looked wrong, and the water clarity didn't match typical conditions in that area. Marine biologists who studied the image pointed out that it lacked the natural movement patterns and environmental interaction you'd expect to see in authentic underwater photography. The diving community around Taiwan has documented many real encounters with large sea creatures over the years. The waters are frequent paths for migrating whales and host some of the largest fish species known to science. But this particular photo raised too many red flags among experts. Number 18. Alaska glacier fins. A group of tourists exploring Alaska's majestic glaciers got more than the usual show of ice and snow. While admiring a collapsed glacier, their attention shifted to something unusual in the waters below. 7 black fins breaking through the surface, moving together in an eerie dance. The waters around Alaska's glaciers are typically rich feeding grounds for marine life. When glaciers calve and collapse, they release nutrients that attract various sea creatures, from tiny plankton to large whales. These nutrient-rich zones create entire underwater ecosystems right at the glacier's edge. The tourists watched as these mysterious fins moved in perfect unison, creating ripples across the otherwise calm water. Each fin appeared dark against the blue-gray water, standing out clearly against the backdrop of floating ice chunks. What made this sighting particularly interesting was how the fins seemed connected beneath the surface, suggesting they were part of one larger creature. Some people suggested it might be an unknown species, which isn't completely far-fetched considering the remote location. Alaska's waters contain many deep channels and underwater canyons that haven't been fully explored. However, marine biologists who reviewed the footage noted that several known species display similar fin patterns, including orcas traveling in pods and certain species of large fish. Number 17. Deep sea transformation. At a staggering depth of 3,700 feet beneath the ocean's surface, cameras mounted on an offshore rig captured something remarkable. In the pitch-black waters, a strange black object drifted into view, putting on a show that left viewers stunned as it transformed right before their eyes. This mysterious performer turned out to be bloody bellycomb jelly. One of the ocean's most fascinating creatures. Unlike regular jellyfish that simply float along, this jelly can change its shape dramatically, expanding and contracting in ways that make it look like something from another world. The bloody bellycomb jelly gets its name from its deep red stomach, which serves a clever purpose. At extreme depths where these jellies live, red appears black, making the jelly's stomach invisible to hungry predators. But what really makes this creature special is its sparkling light display. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia cover its body, splitting light into rainbow colors as they move, creating a natural light show that ripples across its transparent body. Despite looking delicate, these jellies are skilled hunters, using their expanding bodies and light-bending abilities to survive in one of Earth's most challenging environments. Number 16. Unknown aquatic mass. A strange creature appeared in the ocean, leaving experts and viewers completely baffled. The footage showed something big and unusual moving through the water, but no one could pin down exactly what it was. Even the original video's comment section remained unusually quiet, with viewers seemingly at a loss for words about what they were seeing. The creature appeared as a large, dark mass moving through the water with smooth, fluid movements. Its size suggested it could be a whale, which makes sense as whales often move in similar patterns when they're feeding or traveling. Manta rays were another possibility, as these gentle giants can reach widths of up to 29 feet and are known to swim in similar ways. The way the creature moved offered some clues. Its motion was steady and purposeful, typical of larger marine animals. The shape appeared to change slightly as it moved, which could mean it was either turning or its body was naturally flexible. Without better lighting or a clearer view, experts couldn't make a definite identification. This deep-sea mystery has experts scratching their heads, but the next one is even more unusual. A squid with freakishly long arms that looked straight out of a sci-fi movie. Number 15. Magna pinna squid sighting. At a deep-sea drilling site, cameras caught one of the ocean's most mysterious residents, the Magna pinna squid, also known as the big fin squid. With arms that can stretch up to 20 times longer than its body, this remarkable creature looks unlike any other squid swimming in our oceans. First discovered in the 1980s, these squids live so deep in the ocean that studying them is extremely difficult. What makes them stand out is their unique elbow-like arms. Unlike regular squids with straight tentacles, the Magna pinna's arms bend sharply, creating angles that look like joints. These arms can grow up to 26 feet long, while their main body usually stays around 8 inches in length. The squid in the footage was captured by underwater cameras that usually monitor drilling equipment. The video quality was surprisingly clear, especially considering most deep-sea footage tends to be blurry or shaky. Scientists were excited because clear videos of these creatures are rare, They typically live between 3,000 to 13,000 feet below the surface. These squids hunt differently from their shallow water cousins. Instead of chasing after prey, they drag their long arms along the ocean floor like a net, catching small animals that swim or crawl by. Their arms have sticky cells that help trap anything they touch. Scientists believe they might also use these arms to catch prey swimming above them, creating a living fishing net in the darkness. Number 14. Underwater oil rig mystery. Beneath the endless blue, far from the shore, something surprising was caught on camera at an offshore oil rig. The footage began with an unusual sight, a fish that appeared to be stuck or impaled in the water. But what happened next caught everyone's attention. A large, dark shape zoomed past the camera at high speed, creating a moment of mystery that sparked widespread discussion. The cameras that captured this footage are part of a network of underwater monitoring equipment used by oil rigs. These cameras serve an important purpose, helping workers check equipment and keep an eye on underwater conditions around the clock. They're built to withstand extreme pressure and provide clear views even in the dark, murky waters where rigs operate. Some people who watched the video claimed the blur might have been a mermaid, pointing to what they thought was a human-like shape. But deep-sea experts had different ideas. At the depths where oil rigs operate, often thousands of feet below the surface, many unusual creatures make their home. Fast-moving fish, sharks, and various marine mammals frequently pass by these cameras. Number 13. Gulf of Mexico discovery. In the deep waters of the Gulf of Mexico, an underwater camera captured remarkably clear footage of one of the ocean's most unusual jellyfish.
I think we can suck this one up too, with the Forscalia.
The Solmissus, also known as the dinner plate jellyfish. Unlike the shaky, blurry videos often seen from the deep sea, this footage offered a crystal clear view of this fascinating creature. The Solmissus jellyfish stands out from its cousins because of its unique shape and hunting style. While most jellyfish drift along and wait for food to come to them, this species actively hunts its prey. Its body is shaped like a flat disc, giving it its nickname dinner plate jellyfish, and this shape helps it move through the water with surprising speed and control. The jellyfish's transparent body allows it to blend almost perfectly with the surrounding water, making it nearly invisible to both predators and prey. Around its rim, it has special tentacles that contain stinging cells, which it uses to catch small fish and other marine creatures that swim too close. These jellies typically live in the mesopelagic zone, also called the twilight zone, between 660 and 3,300 feet deep. Number 12. Three-pronged tail. A peculiar creature caught attention in the open ocean when cameras spotted its unusual three-pronged tail breaking the surface. The sighting sparked a debate among marine experts and ocean enthusiasts about whether they were seeing an ancient sea creature or something much more common, but with an unfortunate injury. The footage showed a large animal moving slowly through the water, but what made it truly stand out was its distinctive tail, split into three parts, like a fork. Most sea creatures have single-lobed or two-lobed tails, making this appearance particularly unusual. The way it moved and surfaced suggested it was a warm-blooded mammal rather than a fish. Many viewers wondered if this could be evidence of a surviving prehistoric species. After all, the oceans are incredibly deep and largely unexplored. However, marine biologists who studied the footage noticed telltale signs that pointed to a more likely explanation: an injured manatee. Manatees, often called sea cows, frequently swim near the surface and are unfortunately vulnerable to boat strikes. Their slow movement and need to surface for air puts them in harm's way to fast-moving boats. When their tails are struck by propellers, the wounds can heal in unusual patterns, sometimes creating divided sections that look like separate prongs. The size, movement pattern, and surface behavior all matched what we know about manatees. This next sighting has everyone wondering, how did a legendary sea monster find its way to American shores? Number 11. North Carolina sea creature. On the scenic coast of North Carolina, a beachgoer turned amateur photographer captured footage that set social media buzzing. Instead of simply enjoying the coastal view, he pulled out his phone and recorded something unusual moving in the waters, something that many quickly labeled as a sea dinosaur or Loch Ness monster-style creature. The video spread rapidly across Twitter, drawing thousands of viewers who wondered if Scotland's famous Loch Ness monster had somehow made its way across the Atlantic to American shores. The unusual shape and movement of the creature in the water certainly caught people's attention, leading Inside Edition to investigate the sighting. To get to the bottom of the mystery, Inside Edition consulted Ron McGill, a well-known expert in marine life. With his distinctive mustache and tiger portrait prominently displayed in his office background, McGill brought both expertise and style to the investigation. His conclusion? The mysterious creature was actually a baby whale coming up to the surface for a brief look around. This makes perfect sense given North Carolina's rich marine ecosystem. Number 10. Bondi Beach Discovery. At Sydney's famous Bondi Beach in April 2022, something strange caught everyone's attention. Among the waves and seaweed, beachgoers spotted what looked like part of a shark tangled in kelp. The discovery was so unusual that major news outlets like Yahoo News and CBS picked up the story, spreading it across the globe. Drew Lambert, who first documented the finding, thought he might have spotted a horned shark. Horned sharks are normally found in Australian waters and can grow up to 4.9 feet long. However, marine experts who studied the photos and footage suggested it was actually something quite different: a decomposing coffin ray. Coffin rays, also known as Australian numbfish, are unusual creatures that live along Australia's coast. These fish can produce powerful electric charges to stun their prey and defend themselves. When they die and begin to decompose, their bodies can take on strange shapes that might look like other sea creatures. What made this discovery even more interesting was its timing. Just 1 month later, the same beach made headlines again when another mysterious object washed ashore. This time, it turned out to be a prop from the Netflix show Stranger Things. The two events got people talking about whether there might be a connection, though the second discovery was clearly explained as part of a marketing campaign. Bondi Beach, with its strong currents and deep waters, often brings surprising things to shore, making it a regular spot for unusual marine discoveries. Number 9. Florida Water Mystery. In Florida's warm waters, a dark shape bobbing up and down caught someone's attention, leading to yet another grainy video that sparked discussions about mysterious sea creatures. The footage, like many others of its kind, was shaky and unclear, making it hard to see exactly what was moving through the water. Florida's waters are home to an incredible variety of marine life, particularly manatees, which have lived in these waters for millions of years. These gentle giants, often called sea cows, can grow up to 13 feet long and weigh as much as 3,500 pounds. They spend their days slowly cruising through warm, shallow waters, munching on seagrass, and surfacing regularly to breathe. When experts examined the video closely, they spotted the distinctive features of a manatee, including its injured fin and characteristic head shape. Manatees are known for their slow, peaceful movements and frequent trips to the surface for air, matching the behavior seen in the footage. What makes this case particularly interesting is how it shows a common pattern in marine mysteries. While some viewers insisted it must be something more exotic, the truth was swimming right in front of them. Florida's waterways serve as critical habitats for manatees, especially during the winter months when they gather near warm springs and power plant outflows to stay warm. Number 8. Swedish Lake Mystery. In a murky Swedish lake, scientists set up special underwater cameras to study local wildlife, but they caught something unexpected on film. The footage was so interesting that it made its way onto one of Sweden's top news programs, catching the attention of viewers across the country. The cameras were part of an ecological study designed to understand how different animals use the lake throughout the year. Sweden's lakes are complex ecosystems, home to various fish species, amphibians, and even some unexpected swimmers like snakes. The water in these lakes often contains natural sediment and plant material, making it appear cloudy or murky. When researchers reviewed the footage, they spotted something moving through the water unusually. The murky conditions and the camera's limited quality made it difficult to see clear details, but the movement pattern caught everyone's attention. While some viewers suggested it might be something mysterious, scientists recognized signs of a familiar local resident, the common grass snake. The common grass snake, which can grow up to 5 feet long, is an excellent swimmer and regularly visits Swedish lakes to hunt for frogs and fish. Unlike most snakes, they're comfortable in water and can stay submerged for long periods. Their swimming pattern creates a distinctive rippling motion that matches what was captured in the footage. This next encounter is so bizarre it feels straight out of a surreal film. Fishing in a suit? You don't see that every day, so come along. Number 7. Belfast fishing encounter. Off the coast of Belfast, a peculiar fishing video raised eyebrows among viewers. The scene showed something you don't see every day, a person fishing while wearing a formal suit. As if that wasn't strange enough, another boat hovered unusually close by, and a mysterious shape moved through the water with oddly smooth, mechanical movements. The video came from someone with the last name Malarkey, who claimed they were filming something called Fishing with David Lynch. For those unfamiliar with David Lynch, he's a filmmaker known for creating strange and surreal movies, which might explain the unusual setup of this fishing scene. What really caught people's attention was how the mysterious shape in the water moved. Unlike real sea creatures that bob up and down with the waves, this object glided through the water in an unnaturally straight line, as if it were being pulled by a string or controlled by a machine. Sharp-eyed viewers also noticed something else that didn't add up. The land visible in the background of the video didn't match the location where it was supposedly filmed. The coastline shown was actually about 130 miles away from where the filmmaker claimed to be shooting. When you put all these pieces together, the suited fisherman, the perfectly positioned second boat, the artificially smooth movement in the water, and the mismatched location, it becomes clear this video was likely created as part of an artistic project or comedy sketch, rather than documenting a real sea creature encounter. Number 6. GoPro kayak encounter. Drifting in his kayak, a fisherman steadied himself as he cast his line into the open water. The waves rocked gently beneath him, and the salty breeze filled the air. He had been on the water for hours, capturing every moment with his brand new GoPro strapped to the front of his kayak. It was supposed to be just another peaceful day of fishing, until he reviewed the footage later. At first glance, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The sun glistened off the water, his paddle sliced through the waves, and his wetsuit reflected in the camera. But then, in a blink and you'll miss it moment, something strange appeared. A small black shape surfaced in the distance, just for a fraction of a second, before vanishing beneath the waves. The fisherman hadn't noticed it in real time, but the camera had caught something that left him baffled. Curious and slightly unnerved, he slowed the footage down, playing it back frame by frame. Was it a fish? A shadow? Something else entirely? The mystery deepened as he posted the clip online, asking viewers, "What was that?" Marine experts had an answer. Seals are naturally curious creatures, often approaching boats, divers, and even cameras. Their intelligence and playful nature make them one of the few ocean animals willing to interact with humans. Some even make direct eye contact or nibble at floating objects. Could this fleeting shadow have been a seal investigating the unfamiliar presence in its territory? The question remains open, but the ocean, as always, holds its secrets well. Number 5. San Diego surfer incident. Off the coast of San Diego, professional surfer Ryland Rubin was gliding across the waves, moving with precision and ease. The ocean was calm, and conditions were ideal for surfing. As he maneuvered through the water, a dark shape appeared nearby, briefly visible before blending back into the waves. The footage captured by an observer later raised questions. The object was difficult to identify, and its movement suggested it was drifting rather than actively swimming. Some speculated that it could have been a piece of marine debris, while others suggested it might have been an octopus, possibly injured by a boat propeller. Octopuses are highly adaptable and can be found in a variety of ocean environments, but they are not typically seen near surfers. If the object was an octopus, its presence in the breaking waves would be unusual. Encounters with unidentified objects in the ocean are not uncommon. The movement of tides and currents can carry a variety of marine life and debris to unexpected locations. While there is no clear confirmation of what was in the water that day, the ocean is still full of activity, much of it unseen from the surface. Number 4. Mariner Museum Lock Mystery. A helicopter hovered over the Mariner Museum's lock, its camera scanning the water below. The footage seemed routine: rippling waves, boats docked nearby, and the usual movement of the harbor. But then, something unexpected appeared beneath the surface. A long, dark shape moved through the water, barely visible at first. It was large, oddly shaped, and gone within moments. The museum later posted the footage online, highlighting the mysterious figure and fueling speculation. Some viewers were convinced they had just seen a sea creature, while others questioned whether it was anything unusual at all. The timing was interesting. The museum was running an exhibit on sea monsters and prehistoric marine life. This led to debate over whether the sighting was real or part of a promotional effort. Historically, bodies of water near harbors and museums often contain debris, submerged objects, or marine animals that can create unusual shapes in the water. Seals, large fish, or even tangled ropes can sometimes appear like something more mysterious when viewed from a distance. Additionally, light reflections and water currents can distort objects, making them look larger or more unusual than they actually are. From a museum lock, we move on to a legendary lake. But could this next sighting be more than just a trick of the waves? Number 3. Seneca Lake Sea Monster. Seneca Lake, the largest of New York's Finger Lakes, has been the site of many legends. Among them is the story of the Seneca Lake Monster, a creature some claim has lurked beneath the surface for centuries. While the lake is known for its deep, cold waters and rich history, the existence of a lake-dwelling monster remains a debated topic. A video surfaced online, claiming to capture footage of this elusive creature. The clip had a grainy, vintage-style filter, making it look much older than it likely was. The camera shook as if the person filming could barely keep their hands steady. In the water, a dark shape bobbed just below the surface, moving with the waves. Was it an unknown creature, or simply a piece of driftwood floating along with the current? Seneca Lake is home to various fish species, including lake trout and landlocked salmon, which can grow to impressive sizes. Large fish breaking the surface, or logs drifting through the water, often spark sightings of something unusual. Over the years, many lake monster stories have been traced back to optical illusions caused by waves, lighting, and floating debris. Despite skepticism, the legend of the Seneca Lake Monster continues to attract attention. Number 2. The mysterious glowing creature of the deep. Deep in the Gulf of Mexico, nearly 4,000 feet below the surface, a strange glowing shape drifted through the darkness. The footage, shared by the YouTube channel Tahoe Deep, revealed an eerie, pulsing form unlike anything most people have ever seen. At first glance, some might mistake it for a tangled fishing net or even a deep-sea jellyfish. But this was something far more fascinating: a siphonophore. Siphonophores belong to a group of marine animals related to jellyfish and corals. Scientists have identified about 175 different species, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Unlike most single organisms, a siphonophore is made up of many individual parts, called zooids, each with a specific role. Some handle movement, others capture food, and some even help with reproduction. Working together, they form one cohesive, otherworldly creature. This particular siphonophore floated through the water with a mesmerizing, almost hypnotic movement. The glowing patterns on its body shifted and pulsed, creating an effect that resembled early computer screensavers. Just when the deep sea seems fully explored, a flash of light suddenly appears. Number 1. Flasher squid. At a depth of 4,200 feet below the ocean's surface, a submersible was moving through the darkness when something unexpected happened. A sudden movement, then a flash. Something had latched onto the vehicle, its bioluminescent body pulsing in the deep. Moments later, the creature drifted into view, revealing itself as a flasher squid. Flasher squids are one of the ocean's largest bioluminescent creatures, growing up to 7.5 feet long. Their name comes from the 2 glowing photophores on their heads, which emit bright flashes of light. Scientists believe these flashes serve multiple purposes, sometimes as a defense mechanism to startle predators, other times to communicate with other squids in the darkness. Despite their size, flasher squids are rarely seen. They live in deep waters, far beyond the reach of sunlight, where extreme pressure and freezing temperatures make survival a challenge. Their bodies are specially adapted to these conditions, with soft, gelatinous flesh that can withstand the crushing depths. In this footage, the squid's glowing patterns flicker as it moves away from the submersible. It may have been drawn to the vehicle's lights, mistaking it for prey or a potential threat. Deep-sea researchers continue to study creatures like the flasher squid, hoping to unlock more secrets about life in the uncharted depths of the ocean. With so few sightings, every piece of footage provides valuable insight into a world that remains largely unexplored. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.